Hello and welcome! Join me today by watching the Bungie live stream about Heresy, which is the upcoming new episode that drops in literally a week. Can you see my excitement? I'm actually really stoked to see what's supposed to happen for the final episode of Final Shape. Before we start watching, I just really quickly want to say that I appreciate you guys clicking on this video, and I do really hope you end up enjoying. Definitely leave a like and subscribe if you haven't yet. I post a lot of funny videos about Destiny or my Call of Duty fails, and I do a bunch of guides as well. Alright, so let's get started. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. Bam. Let me hide my mess. Ah!
Hello everyone and welcome. It's good to see y'all again, Guardians. Welcome here to Bungie HQ. We're broadcasting live from beautiful Bellevue, Washington, today with our stream that's going to be talking through some of the awesome stuff you're going to be able to check out just next week when Act 1 of Episode Heresy launches on February 4th. Now, worry not, you're not going to just have to sit here and listen to me. My name's Andy, I work on the social media team here at Bungie, but I've got some amazing colleagues here to go ahead and share some of the finer details of all the cool stuff we're going to be checking out today. So, to not waste any time and show y'all what you came here to see, let's go ahead and introduce everyone so we can get to it. First things first, this gentleman to my left, a brand new addition to our show. If you've joined us before, you may recognize his face, or not recognize his face, rather. The one and only Mr. Nico Stevens, narrative architect here at Bungie. Nico, how's it going, man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Andy?
Doing well, thank you. Obviously, your first time joining us. For anyone that may not have followed you on social media or may be wondering what it is a narrative architect does, can you tell us just a little bit about?
I'm gonna pause real quick. Every time there is a new dev stream, I can't help myself. I always have to look what's behind because there's always something different back there for every live stream. I saw that there is a Funko Pop. I don't know if I know that one. I don't think I have that one, but just wanted to point that out.
About who you are and what you do here?
Sure. So I joined Bungie. I joined Bungie back in Season of Undying, like right at the tail end of that, and I've been working on seasonal content from then up until now and doing the episode stuff.
Yeah.
And I've done a few annual releases here and there, did some Final Shape stuff. People might know my work from Presage or Warlord's Ruin or some.
I didn't know. I always pronounce it as Presage. Whoa! I don't think I knew that I mispronounced the activity the entire time. That was weird. I was like, Presage? Wait, which one is that? Presage. Oh my gosh.
One of those. Prestige is like my favorite exotic mission of all time. I'm not even kidding.
I'm a little biased, but I do love it.
It's so good. All right, we can talk about that at another time, but thank you for being here, Nico. We appreciate it. Next to him, someone who's joined us in the past, actually. If you joined us for our Episode Echoes stream, you probably recognize his face immediately. The one and only Ryan Harris, senior designer here at Bungie. Ryan, welcome back.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well, man. Thank you very much. For anyone that maybe didn't join us on the last Echo stream or is just seeing you for the first time, can you tell us just a little bit about who you are and what
I'm gonna take the captions off real quick. They were kind of delayed.
you do here?
For sure, yeah. So I'm a senior activity designer here at Bungie. I've been around since Season of the Plunder. Folks may know my content that I've worked on from most recently the Battlegrounds, from Echoes, and then before that at Savathûn Spire, and then the Defiant Battlegrounds.
Yeah, another one today to add to the best hits, obviously.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, thank you for being here, Ryan. We appreciate it. And last but very not least, someone who needs no introduction, a friend to all Guardian kind, a voice of all of you fine folks out in chat, here in the studio, the Youngblood Dillionaire himself, Dylan Gaffner. Dylan, thanks for being here, man.
Thank you. How are you doing, Andy? Question number 3.
Doing so well, thank you! Exclamation point, period. To that same end, you are the global community lead here. Can you tell the folks at home that may not have accosted you on Blue Sky or anything like that, just a little bit about who you are and what it is you do here?
Yeah, I mean, we're listening. I'm that guy. Bread, hashtag meme. But ultimately, yeah, we, on the community team, we make sure to field all your feedback, get our roadmap of comms together for what's in a TWID, how can we set expectations, what's all the cool stuff going on in Destiny in the game or outside of it too.
Yeah.
Speaking of outside of it, I want to do a quick shout out to Mactix. We have a Game to Give charity marathon going on right now. Actually, his time slot coincides with ours. So throughout this, we're going to be dropping links in chat to his charity page.
Awesome.
So if you want to support a good cause, help out the Bungie Foundation and all the people in need,
Let's
hit up that link,
go.
check out the incentives, and donate some money if you can. If you can't, totally fine.
Nice.
Yep. Spread the word.
And hey, do yourself a huge favor while you're out there. Give Mactix a follow. Steal some of his builds. I know I do. I mentioned it last
Let's
stream.
go, Mactix.
All right, so that is enough about us. Let's talk about the cool things that you guys have been building. Obviously, we're about to go ahead and arrive at Act 1 of Heresy. But before we get there, Nico, I'd love to ask you really quickly, what got us to where we are today? Obviously, we're concluding episode Revenant, but a lot has occurred. Can you catch anyone up at home about what happened last time?
Yeah, so the story of the Echoes, which the episodes encompass, has it was kicked off from the final shape. So at the end of the final shape, we kill the witness.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers, sorry.
Oh,
Goodness days.
well, hopefully everyone's played it.
So we take out the witness, and from the witness and from the Pale Heart, we see all of these echoes like burst out and start flying across Sol.
Yeah.
The first one that we encountered was in the hands of Maya Sundaresh. We dealt with her, she escaped. Second one we encountered was in the hands of Fikrul.
Dude, she did escape. I was like, oh, we're gonna have this huge boss battle, and she was like, nah, man, I'm out.
We dealt with him, he did not escape.
Yeah, he
And
did
then
not
the
escape.
third one that we are encountering is going to be here in the Dreadnought. And after it left the Pale Heart, a very specific dread that we're going to be seeing this episode gave chase to it. So we're going to be dealing with the Dread and the Taken and the Hive all revolving around this third echo.
Excellent. Very exciting. All right, so we have up on screen here in just a moment, I think, the key art now for this next episode. There's a lot going on here,
Yeah.
but Nico, I'll leave it to you. Can you tell us just a little bit?
Whoa, what? These look like eyes. And what the heck is this up there? These are the Guardians? Are these? Oh my gosh, is that a subjugator? These look like interesting looking eyes. Dude, is that Crota? Dude, are these tentacles? Dude, what the frick is happening?
About what we're seeing here?
Yeah. So I think the first thing that's probably going to draw a lot of people's eye is that ghostly visage of Oryx peeking over the top there.
Yep. Yeah.
So Oryx is, I'll just say Oryx is back to some capacity.
At some capacity, Oryx is back? What? Look at him just peeking over. This is actually kind of like terrifying and scary.
Right?
Yeah.
And the Echo has a lot to do with that. So not only are the Guardians jumping through trying to figure out what exactly is going on in this first act, but they're dealing with this old foe that has been dredged up from the bones of the Dreadnought.
Yeah.
And I don't want to reveal too much. But
no,
yeah, we're
that's
going
all right,
to
yeah.
be clashing.
The Guardians will be there very soon.
No, I want to know what these eyes are. They're actually kind of creepy. Then there's tentacles. I don't know what that is. Like, is that an enemy or is that? I don't even know what that is. I want to know more.
But so we're dealing obviously again with the Taken King again in some form. So we have some old foes returning. But before we go ahead and move on into gameplay and dive into that, we have some old allies returning as well. Can you tell us about some of the folks we're going to be working with this time around as well?
Yeah, so our main cast right now is Eris Morn, which is our resident witch hive expert.
I love working with Eris Morn. Let's go.
A lot of people know her from Season of the Witch, aptly named, or even further back, Season of Arrivals is kind of like the first time that she jumped back into this new sort of saga story arc. So we have Eris Morn. She is, as I said, our resident hive expert. We have the Drifter, her faithful companion, who's following alongside.
Dude, the combination of Eris Morn and Drifter is going to be insane. No way. They're both just such mysterious characters. And that makes the combination of them really cool. I'm actually really excited to have Drifter, working with Drifter again. I love Drifter.
And helping us kind of pick apart what the Taken are doing here.
Yeah.
I think I said at some point before that he always has his finger in the weird of the universe.
He certainly does.
And there's some weird going on here.
Excellent.
And then
Let's go.
finally, we have
Definitely weird if there's tentacles happening.
have Deputy Commander Sloan.
Right.
And Sloan is our Titan representation here. People will remember her from Season of the Deep or even the Red War.
No way.
And she has been
We're having Sloan again. Oh my gosh. Wait, I feel like the combination of all three of them is going to be really awesome. It sounds fun already. That's really cool. It's been a while since we've seen Sloan. Oh my gosh.
afflicted with this like taken corruption that we saw back in Season of the Deep. And she's learned how to sort of hold it back, but also utilize it to make her stronger.
Yeah.
So she is going to be teaching us some of that.
Yeah, that's we're going beyond once again.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say. So we've obviously got a whole new cast of friends and enemies to go up against. But really quickly as well, something we were talking about a little bit earlier in the show is the player journey as well. It's something you guys are really excited about this time around. Can you tell us a little bit about how players are going to be experiencing some of these quests?
Yeah. So. Okay, so players have been talking a lot about the structure of the player journey and how they'd kind of like to see it shaken up a bit, right? Mm-hmm. So this is going to be kind of one of our first steps into trying to make that happen in a more tangible way.
Cool.
So you will still notice some of those elements of like returning to a vendor or something like that, but you're also going to notice that we're doing a lot more bespoke, spread out delivery for these beats.
Cool.
You're going to find characters like in the midst of a mission sometimes.
Yeah.
There's some new tech that I don't want to spoil. I want players to see it in the game.
Yeah.
But there's some new tech having to do with the way that we would holo project characters.
Yeah.
In that sort of projection unit.
Wait,
that you
I'm
would find in the helm.
excited.
Yeah.
What does
We're
that mean?
expanding that out so that it's a little bit more versatile, and it is more cognizant of where players want to be and less about like having to return to this one spot and kind of loop through the helm over and over again.
Thank you. Well,
I like that. And not have to like loop through the helm over and over again. Well, okay, I think I'm understanding this correctly. So they want to do something new where it's like instead of constantly being like, hey, return to the helm, talk to them. Okay, go back into mission. Okay, return to the helm, talk to them. Go back to the mission. I think they want to make that differently. Please let me know if I misunderstood that, but I think I understood that correctly, which is actually really cool.
thank you guys. Obviously, I'm sure our audience of Guardians who have let Dylan know and his compatriots loud and clear what we're looking for are happy to be hearing that. So that's exciting.
Let me go to the helm. Let me talk to this character. Let me go back to the helm. Let me talk to this character.
Sarah Hollow.
What? I literally just said that. Wait, that's insane. That's exactly what I just said. What the frick? No way. That's insane.
Projector somewhere in there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's
What
right.
a
All right.
coincidence
Really
just
exciting. So as we kind of
happened.
move into that player journey, we're going to be working on something called the Path of Resolve. Can you tell us just a little bit about what that is before we dive into the gameplay
Path
here in
of
just a moment?
Resolve.
Yes, so there is an event that happens at the beginning of the episode,
Exciting.
Which people will see very, very soon after the launch.
Yeah.
And this sort of kicks off, I'm going to choose my words very carefully here.
Do we think it's gonna be like, is it like an activity event or is it like a destruction that's gonna happen event?
Redacted, yes.
This redacted event sort of kicks off Sloane's motivation for teaching us about the taken power that she has been holding back.
Yeah.
And so that is the path of resolve here. She's going to be teaching us how to fight fire with fire. We're going to be going into the Dreadnought, taking some control of that taken energy, taking some control of those old hive magics, and
What? Oh my gosh! Wait, okay, hold on. For anyone that was in my stream the other day, we were just talking about this. I'm not even kidding. I was saying that imagine if Bungie brings out this new thing where it's like, hey, like for the storyline, like, hey, you're gonna get to evolve into like a taken enemy or like a hive enemy, and you have to fight them by being them. Does that make sense? It doesn't sound like the exact same thing, but I was saying, what if you turn into a thrall and then you have to go through this entire activity as a thrall and either be like stealthy mode and try and slither past them, or you have to fight them because they realize you're the enemy, but for some reason you can't go back to your like guardian form and you're just stuck as being a thrall or like an ogre or like a knight, something like that. That is very similar. We were just talking about this. For anyone that was in my stream, I'm sure you remember how we were talking about, imagine if we could be like the enemy's power, like have the power of a taken or hive, or like turn into a taken and a hive and have to do like missions and activities. That is sick. I love that. I can't believe we were just talking about this.
Wielding them, using our light, and using our paracausality, wielding that new power against our enemies.
Very nice. All right, we're going to be obviously keeping Sloan very busy.
Oh, yeah.
With that. But speaking of, we actually have our requisite local fire team here.
Hold on.
in-house,
Can I
in the
just
activity.
like, can we, I didn't hear the last part.
And wielding them, using our light, and using our paracausality, wielding that new power against our enemies.
Very nice. All right.
Okay, so we get to have their power, but we're also going to be using our light with it in order to defeat them. That makes sense.
We're going to be obviously keeping Sloan very busy.
Oh, yeah.
With that. But speaking of, we actually have our requisite local fire team here in-house in the activity as well. Ryan, this is the Nether. This is the new activity that's going to be arriving with Act 1 of episode Heresy. Can you tell us just a little bit about what this is for starters as we go ahead and kind of dive into it?
Yeah, so the Nether is a 3-player activity.
The Nether is such an awesome name. It does kind of remind me of Minecraft, though. That's so cool. A 3-player activity is what he just said.
Just a little bit about what this is for starters as we go ahead and kind of dive into it.
Yeah, so the Nether is a 3-player activity, and we are back on the Dreadnought's patrol zones. And we'll be exploring the Dreadnought, rooting out the Taken, Hive, and Dread corruption that are taking place and taking hold inside the Dreadnought itself as we go through these spaces. And the Nether itself is a uniquely different type of activity. We're really trying to, full baseline, some inspiration for this activity was...
Is the Dreadnought from Destiny 1? Destiny 2 Dreadnought. Destiny 1? Or is it in Destiny 2? The Dreadnought is a massive hive spaceship which serves as a mobile throne world for Oryx, the Taken King. I know that, but is it Destiny 1 or is it Destiny 2? Destiny 2. No. Did we have? Oh, okay. Wait, but is it not from Destiny 1? The Dreadnought is a massive hive ship in Destiny 2 that was home of Oryx, the hive god. Players travel to the Dreadnought in the King's Fall, right? Okay, I know all of that. But I thought it was from Destiny 1. I could be wrong.
Looking at Shattered Realm,
Maybe not.
The Coil,
That's awkward.
and of course the Dreadnought's patrol spaces. Of course, we are in the Dreadnought.
Yeah.
And yeah, so just for starters, what you're actually doing inside the Dreadnought is baseline. The patrol zones are randomized and varied. The encounters inside are varied and randomized as well. So time over time, when you launch into the activity, it's going to be a different starting bubble, different encounters, and different events and objectives for you to engage with and accomplish as you're exploring the Dreadnought itself.
Yeah.
That sounds like the
What kind
Coil
of
almost.
modifiers would you say players are going to go up against in here? Because surely they're not just going to go into the Dreadnought and get a warm welcome necessarily.
Yeah, so the Nether has some very unique modifications to it that we're experimenting with. So first off, players do not regenerate health. And to compensate for that, we are doing something special where we're providing players with plus 300 bonus health baseline to their original HP.
Okay, so we get a plus 300 bonus health. I'm assuming on top of our already health. But we can't regenerate health at all? What?
P values and plus 75 shield value. So alongside that, we really want to make your health regenerate.
Did you guys just hear that weapon sound? Whoa, that sounded so cool.
Or your health as like a resource as you're fighting through this, as we are looking at this as a very rogue-lite experience, and we need resources to contend with to make and hit that rogue-lite. Emphasis on light there, of course, because this is still a very uniquely Destiny experience.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of things contributing to that as well. So we do have ammo scarcity as well, so players won't be getting as much ammo, but there will be ways and avenues to get health and ammo drops in the activity, as well as boons that will improve your power over time as you engage with the activity.
Nice.
And that progressive sort of idea of like power and building up how strong you are.
Whoa! Finishing strand. Finishers grant a strand grenade, which detonates into many unraveling projectiles. Oh, there's like little upgrades I'm assuming you can do. Was it the coil that had that too? You could choose like different upgrades the further you go, I'm assuming. That's cool. Then they said that it's completely randomized, which means if you launch in, you could start somewhere completely different with a different encounter that you did before, which I like. It brings a lot of like different variety into it and not like always like here's the start, here's the end, and have that repeated. As for someone like me who will most likely be playing this activity a lot, especially doing raffles on my streams for people to join in on, that is really cool. That way, it's always something different. Even if eventually that, there's not like a million different scenarios or encounters, but even if eventually it is going to be like, an encounter that I had before, but it's going to be on a different time frame.
Or as you're moving through.
Paracasa Siphon buff increases elemental damage dealt. Corruption drains grenade and class abilities. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
The Nether.
Oh, we just read that one. Finishers grant a strand grenade, which detonates into many unraveling projectiles. Impossible grenade. Finisher final blows converts your next throwing. Wait, sorry. Finisher final blows converts your next thrown grenade into a bonus fragmentation grenade.
Experience. It's also reflective of that narrative of like building yourself up, pushing deeper into the Dreadnought.
That's
the
cool.
Dreadnought is resisting you. It's trying to make sure you can't like move towards the Echo and figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And this is you finding ways to like pierce the veil and move beyond their barrier.
Yeah, new foes and new challenges obviously warrant new strategies along the way as well.
Absolutely.
And then you saying like ammo and health is kind of like a resource, so you're not seeing it drop off of enemies and stuff like that, but there are things that you can find like a resource and collect and all that.
Yeah, so we have destination materials. We have urns and pots kind of placed around everywhere, and also destination
Pots?
chests that players can find. And when you break these destructible pots, they'll explode into like a rain of health, ammo, heavy ammo, sometimes boons, sometimes revive tokens. I forgot to mention we are using revive tokens here as a resource as well, so you really need to manage, but like there are avenues to.
Wow. Okay, first of all, pots. That reminds me of the coil, and you have no idea how much I love going into an activity and finding pots like that. Ooh, is that a pot? When you find like pots and you get to destroy them. I'm a very big person on when it comes to running a mission and like seeing something on the side of like my pathway that I can collect. I love it. I still collect the like the little plants and stuff you can get from the planets. It's just a habit of doing, and I love it. So the fact that they're saying there's pots, they said there's chests, and I think they said one more thing where you can get health out of it, ammo out of it, or revive tokens. That sounds difficult as heck. I wonder if that's the only way to get revive tokens, or if there's gonna be champions in there, or if we get revives from tormentors, because tormentors are known to give us 2 revives, and that was a tormentor, so don't know, but that's cool because I love destroying pots and collecting stuff. So
to get more revive tokens, there is more avenues to get health and ammo. So we really want players to explore the Dreadnought and encourage that exploration by looking for these urns, looking for the chests, and like searching for those boons, because there's more avenues and like.
Did you guys see the dog? Were those taken dogs?
Urns, looking for the chests, and like searching.
Were those taken doggos?
Searching for those boons. Because there's.
Dire War Beast. Whoa! That's so epic! What?
Multiple avenues and like ways for players to search out and go get them.
Yeah, and I mean that resource scarcity is really going to make you want to chase those down. And I can imagine that health is a sight for sore eyes.
Absolutely.
To that end as well, actually, obviously you mentioned we're back at the Dreadnought, but I can't imagine this exact.
Okay, that Tormentor did not give revives. Ooh, this is gonna be tough.
same one. Can you tell us a little bit about how the Dreadnought has changed?
Yeah, so since the Echo has hit the Dreadnought, a lot of the spaces have changed and like modified. A lot of the skin,
Whoa.
the skin of the Dreadnought ship has like peeled back, revealing bone and chitin.
Yeah.
Blazing Slide creates a solar wave from
And
slide.
showing off new secrets.
Overcharged abilities. Buff increases class and ability energy regeneration. Corruption reduces super energy
New
regeneration.
pathways. So you
Bolt Charge. While sprinting, gain stacks of Bolt Charge. Release the charge by damaging a target with your melee
are in
abilities.
familiar spaces if you play the
Alright, I'm just gonna go back a little bit since he was talking and I kind of just like read all of that.
Dreadnought skin of the Dreadnought ship has like peeled back, revealing bone and chitin and showing off new secrets, new pathways. So you are in familiar spaces if you've played the Dreadnought before, but there is a lot of new, interesting, unique pathways. Things have changed. Things have become abnormally different. Oh,
Yeah.
There goes our fire team.
And that's the last we ever saw of that Guardian ever again. As mysteriously as they arrived,
just pushed
they
them
were
off.
gone.
yeah.
And we've kind of like, for players who are wanting that explorative aspect, right? We've kind of like separated out the modes a little bit, so people can go in and they can explore the Dreadnought. But people who are like looking to just bust through the activity and get loot, they have a different match-made mode, right?
Absolutely. So the Nether has currently 3 modes. So there's the Nether Exploration for those solo type experiences, but they can bring their fire team in as well if they'd like to. And this is more of like that patrol-esque experience that you're looking for. I want to explore at my own like pace. I want to look for secrets. I want to just engage with the space like it was a patrol space back in the day.
Yeah.
It still is the Nether experience of where you're going from. You're playing through the 3 bubbles and there's escalating difficulty. But we do grant to you in that mode a multitude of revives. So you have a way larger pool of revives, so you can make mistakes.
Sure.
It's just for those players who want to like explore at their own whim, play at their own pace. And then additionally, there's also damage modifiers for those players when they're engaging with bosses as a solo player, so they can actually tackle those hurdles as they come.
Nice.
And also some modifiers on like how many enemies are spawning, so they don't need to like get swarmed by every single enemy in the world.
You can really take in the skybox for a little while and hang out with your
Whoa.
buddies. Yeah.
And then additionally, if you do get lost, because this is, we didn't want to overclutter the spaces with objectives, because there is a lot of things to do, and there's a lot of
Lost?
different things to do in every single bubble.
You can get lost in the sauce, man. No, that's actually so cool. I wonder how many hidden things are going to be around. That's another thing that I enjoy is exploring. Whenever like a new raid or a new dungeon comes out, I love just exploring, looking at the scenery and finding secrets. Like even if I don't find a secret for a really long time, that's okay. It is the most like awesome feeling when you actually find like a hidden chest on your own. So that's really cool.
And location that you go to in the Dreadnought, if you do get lost, you just pop open your ghost, and there'll be a bunch of star objective icons that'll like let you know where you should be looking and where you should be going.
That's
for
good.
the next spot. Additionally, talking back to those different modes,
I
we
get
do
lost
have the match
very
made
fast.
mode on advanced baseline difficulty, and then we do have expert as well.
Very cool. Okay, so plenty of challenges for the Guardians that want to undertake those. Make sure they're pushing not only themselves, but the opportunity to get loot as
Expert? Dude, I wonder if Expert is going to have like champions or something. This does not seem like it's Expert, so this seems like this is the normal version. And like, it doesn't look like strike easy, but it does look pretty tough, to be honest. Especially when I keep saying that health bar really low and knowing that like you can't really get your health back. Which is actually interesting because if you can't get your health back, does it even matter if you put all your mods into resilience? I would assume not, I guess. Which means instead of putting it into resilience, you can put it into somewhere else, right? And you can, instead of like having the resilience, discipline, and whatever else, you can instead put it into 3 different other ones, which is cool.
far as they possibly can.
Absolutely. And on that loot note as well, every time you complete a bubble, there is a chest checkpoint, so you do get loot checkpoints
Ooh,
essentially. And like the average runtime
nice.
for like a bubble is 8 to 12 minutes, but you do get the most loot by completing the entire activity as a whole.
Got it.
But there are checkpoints for players who just want to jump in for like 8 to 12 minutes, hit that loot checkpoint, like, okay, I'm out for now, or players who want to just like rush through it and get all the loot at every single end of every single bubble checkpoint.
That's cool. So that's kind of like onslaught in a way. It's like you finish that one area, you get to a checkpoint, you get loot and chest. You get to decide if you want to keep going for more loot or that was it for you. And the more loot you end up getting, like the more you end up doing, the more you end up getting at the end, I think.
Very cool. Okay. All right. And then also, I think, in addition to the modifiers we're talking about, the boon system is one that I heard you mention a little bit earlier. I'd love to actually kick off the conversation about that. I think we maybe saw the folks in chat that were eagle-eyed that were keeping an eye on the modifiers may have seen something a little bit earlier before. But can you tell us a little bit about the boon system?
Yeah, so the boons here are, we have
Is that what that is? They're saying boon? Increase the chance for healing orb to spawn. Ooh, paracausal health.
multitude of boons. We have minor boons, major boons, and corrupted boons. So minor boons are minor stat increases that are pretty much just increase your power and incrementally stack. They can stack up to 10, and they're just like the typical like increased light damage, increased darkness damage, movement speed on kills. Some are like based on health and regenerate health and are typical like mobility increases, but like things that'll make you stronger over time and allow you to tackle the more difficult bubbles as you approach them.
Yeah.
And then additionally we have major boons.
Yeah.
And then from there they're like actually more larger gameplay modifiers that actually affect your abilities and your actions.
Yeah.
And of course now we do have Eric.
That's right. Yes, actually. So anyone at home that may have noticed, our good friend Nico, please give him a shout out in chat and let him know that you love him, has stepped out of the scene for just a moment, and we are now joined by gameplay feature lead Eric Smith.
When did this happen?
Eric, how's it going, man?
It's going well. How are you?
So for doing well, thank you. You guys are all so nice today. I'm so taken aback. For anyone that may not have seen you in the Vidocs or anything like that, can you tell us just a little bit about who you are, what you do here at Bungie as a gameplay feature lead?
Yeah, sure thing. So I'm Eric Smith, gameplay feature lead on Destiny 2. So I help create the game's abilities, kind of anything the player can do, the game feel of the game, build crafting, kind of general sandbox stuff, and kind of make the controller disappear into your hands while you're playing.
Yeah, and any tools we use, you're helping go ahead and make sure that they're all available for us.
For the mouse and keyboard.
Yes.
Well.
Nice.
I'm just sitting there tapping on an empty desk, but that's how my trials teammates feel. So, we're talking about the boon system. You obviously had a big hand in this as well, rather. Can you tell us a little bit about, what this system is for and maybe about the boons the players are going to have available?
Yeah, so there are a bunch of boons available. There are the minor boons that you mentioned, and then there's the major boons. So the major boons are more gameplay affecting, and they will do things like, kind of like we saw in the Pale Heart with the Traveler's Blessings, right? Where you pick something up and it kind of gives you a new ability almost. One of those in the Pale Heart was Solar Slide, where you run and slide and a solar wave would go out and blow things up.
Yeah.
In this, we have Solar Slide as well, but we also have Stasis Slide, where you run and you slide, and a big stasis wave comes out and makes crystals and freezes things, and you can blow them up yourself.
What?
And there's stuff that is going to allow you to heal more effectively. There's looks like this one's interesting. Reduces damage per piece of.
Apostate's Ward reduces damage per piece of episodic armor worn up to 4 pieces. Wow, that's actually massive, knowing that like you can't just quickly regenerate your health. That's really cool.
Episodic armor worn.
Oh, cool.
It is quite significant boost as well.
Yeah.
Let me read the others, hold on.
Effectively, and there's stuff that is gonna.
Paracausal payloads buff increased kinetic damage dealt. Corruption defeating combatants with kinetic damage drains super energy. Dude, that's so painful. What?
Allow you to heal more effectively. There's looks like this one.
No, I haven't read the far left one yet. Apostate. No, that's not it. There it is. Finishing Void. Finishers grant a Void grenade which makes targets volatile. That's cool.
And there's stuff that is going to allow you to heal more effectively. There's looks like this one's interesting. Reduces damage per piece of episodic armor worn.
Oh, cool.
It is quite significant boost as well.
Yeah. So there's a bunch, and then finally we have the kind of kiss curse boons, as we call them, but they have a official name.
That's so cool. Paracostal Siphon increases elemental damage dealt, corruption, drains, grenade, and class abilities.
the
We've seen
corrupted
that
boons.
one.
And,
So here we go. We're looking at one right now.
yeah, so these corrupted boons are offered at the same time as major boons, as players can only obtain 5 to 6 major boons / corrupted boons per run through. Those are granted to players once randomly at one of the 3 encounters inside of the bubble, and then again at the end of the bubble once they complete it. And there's some ritual loop stuff too that will allow them to get another one at the start of a bubble or the start of a run through. But these Kiss Curse or corrupted boons, as we call them, essentially give you a great bonus or increase to a specific thing at the cost of a major negative. So one, for example, here that I'm really fond of is Glass Cannon, which increases all damage massively, while also increasing all the damage you take.
Yeah. Which is also, that's the dev name internally, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the dev name.
So if you don't find one specifically named Glass Cannon, we are obviously, we hang out in our own Word docs and Excel sheets quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that one is interesting. It's an interesting choice that you can make since the kind of like the risk to reward ratio, right? Because you have non-regenerating health in here, you really have to come at each encounter with that kind of mindset of
What is that? Do you guys see that floating?
health as a resource.
It is.
And make sure that, if I take damage from this enemy or that enemy, it has the potential to stick with me unless I can find a healing source.
Yeah,
really
there's
gotta-
a fire team option too, where it's like every time you're offered those major boons, your teammates can also choose different ones. So it's like, oh hey, 2 of us are going to do that glass cannon, or external.
Yeah.
And then another person is going to do, oh hey, every time I do a finisher, things are volatile around me and I get my grenade back. So I can spam more of those, keep you a bit safer when you get swarmed by things.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
And it's also good to know on the health regeneration aspect, the gameplay and sandbox team has tuned a lot of the abilities and weapons that do heal players, so they're not extremely overpowered. So there's been a wide tuning pass on all of this entirely, so you're going to see when you're trying to heal up your teammate with one of our new support auto rifles.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time, but it does work and it is very efficient and very helpful, especially the abilities, so you're definitely going to want to spec into.
Look at the scenery! This is insane! I love it!
Yeah.
Healing builds.
Oh my gosh!
I have to just give a shout out to the team on like Season of the Deep. We were going deep into the oceans of Titan, and now it feels like we're going deep into space, and like the pressure you can feel it, tentacles taking energy. Like they knocked it out of the park with the vibe here. I'm feeling a little claustrophobic, but also like,
Just getting
you feel it.
pulled deeper into the labyrinth.
That's
right?
so
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. So, in addition to, there's obviously modifiers you're going to be facing as a Guardian, as a fire team. There'll be boons available to you. But this episode as well is going to bring with it a bevy of new gear between both armor and weapons. Now, obviously, for the keen-eyed Guardians in chat who are watching, there's obviously some seasonal armor, some episodic armor sets that we have here that you can go ahead and check out firsthand. But I think kind of in the spirit of this activity and build crafting, let's talk about some of the weapons, actually. There's one here on screen, obviously. This is our new support frame auto rifle. Given that health
Support
is
frame?
such a precious resource in this activity, Eric, can you tell us a little bit about this one?
Yeah, so this is Adamantite. This is our new Strand support auto, and it has some really unique features. One of those is that when I heal enemies, so these support autos, there's 2 of them in the game now. When I hip fire at an ally, it'll send out kind of healing rounds, right? And then if I need to, shoot an enemy right next to that ally, I can just ADS and go full offense, right? But
nice. I love healing
the
weapons.
healing from this, because you're shooting out strand rounds, if you heal an ally repeatedly, it'll actually cause them to sprout little unravel seeds, which kind of turns them into this like short-term, strand turret.
Oh,
Where your friend
wow.
is a grenade into the fight, right?
Permanent Telesto bolts.
That's
but,
so
but now it's like,
cool.
oh hey, I'm
Just
healing you and making you.
Let your hunter friend with the Caliban's Liar's handshake roll run in there and just keep him alive, right?
Dude, I know what I'm using for the day 1 dungeon. Literally, the day 1 dungeon for Vesper's host. I had the healing auto rifle on, and it came in so much clutch. It was crazy. I love healing weapons. I've always had so much fun with using them. It's just so good in like really difficult missions, just to keep my teammates alive. and I've always enjoyed the like having to pay attention on enemies and killing them, but also paying attention on your teammates to heal them because of their health bars. This is epic. Also, can we please have a healing score at the end of an activity so we can see how much healing we did? That'd be cool.
That's why I'm so excited about this activity, because
Oh, slow loading runner. Buff increases movement speed. Corruption decreases reload speed.
like, we've kind of introduced all these kind of healing things, but in a lot of the game, like, I can just hide behind a box and heal, right? These
Wait,
kind of
did you
healing-
not
I'm so
read all
excited.
of them
Your
this
friend
time?
with the Caliban Slayer's handshake roll running there and just keep him alive, right?
And that's why I'm so excited about this activity, because like, we've kind of introduced all these kind of healing things, but in a lot of the game, like, I can just hide behind a box and heal, right? And here you can see our health isn't regenerating. So we need to really think
gonna be
about,
massive in
maybe
this
there is
activity.
a dedicated healer on your team. Maybe there's multiple allies using healing rounds, right?
Yeah, honestly, that build crafting is kind of transcending now beyond yourself, just to like per activity, per fire team, whatever you've got. So this one's obviously going to be a ton of fun, but that is far from the only weapon that's being added around.
it was health.
As far as the episodic weapons, are there any others in particular you want to call out?
There are. I do actually want to talk about this one with one more thing.
Oh, please.
This weapon can roll Slice and Tear, which are two perks that sever enemies.
Yeah.
It's not often
Dude, this weapon looks insane. Okay, slice
we
and
get a primary
What is it?
legendary weapon that can debuff in multiple ways.
Yeah.
And that's going to play into things like the artifact this season, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
Oh yeah, we'll get there.
So there's Adamantite, which is a really solid weapon. And then let's look at Psychopomp. So Psychopomp is our new area denial grenade launcher.
Such a good name.
I love it. Yeah.
yeah, let's go! Area denial frame. Woo! Look how cool and pretty this looks. I love it. I'm obsessed with these grenade launchers. They're just so fun. I can't wait. And this is Arc. Oh my gosh.
Psychopomp.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So Psychopomp, so these area denial grenade launchers, the fantasy of these things
Look at the
is like
electricity!
a
Whoa.
flamethrower, right? We don't have flamethrowers in the game, but this is as close as you can get to a flamethrower. So I imagine
is
I'm
true.
using one every time I use this thing.
I'm going to
It is
now.
kind of like a flamethrower.
This thing has a really cool new perk on it that keys in
Rolling Storm. Final blows grant bolt charge, while amplified, final blows grant additional bolt charge.
into our new arc keyword bolt charge, which we'll also talk about in a bit. And also it works with amplified as well. So this thing, if you are arc build crafted this season and arc has received a ton of love, this thing is gonna absolutely slay out.
Yeah, it's one we'll definitely get to see our fire team put it to good use here. But
Willing Vessel. Dealing damage or defeating targets with this weapon gradually grants increased stability, handling, reload speed, and charge rate. This effect gradually decreases over time but is gained more quickly while near allies.
as someone who's been
Interesting.
building area denial grenade launchers into my loadout, I can't wait. Honestly, the second I learned this was on
And
the
the-
docket, I was so excited.
The folks that have been working on these weapons too,
Yeah.
like the general look of them, it goes along with what you were saying of, oh, hey, the Dreadnought's kind of peeling back. If you look at the weapon, you can see like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
there's like
The bone,
there's
the
the
weapon.
cone. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Dylan, while I've got you, also the previous one on Adamantite, that one was an adept weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me
Oh.
pull out my handy dandy notebook.
There we go.
I didn't even
Oh,
notice.
here's the meme.
Screen cap.
You can notice that
Links! No, I'm
for this
kidding.
go of our episodic weapons, you can earn adept weapons, and these are we're considering or calling them our heretical arsenal.
Got it.
Heresy, heretical.
Yeah.
Like we're going deep into this.
It's not
theme.
theoretical, it's heretical. I love it. Yeah.
You can see that it has a new or a different treatment to the colors. It's kind of like the hollow foils from Into the Light.
Okay, yeah.
Not so much exactly that of, hey, it's an ornament, but like this has the base die and all that, and it looks really good. Shout out to the team. But you can also notice there are multiple perks in each column. There's actually an extra origin trait as well. Shout out Taken King.
Runneth over. Reloading near allies overflows the magazine. Bows receive faster draw time and swords receive faster charge rate.
All that kind of stuff
Yep.
from a raid near you. But there's a very interesting ways of earning these weapons. So you're going to be going into these activities, upping that difficulty. You're going to be exploring the Dreadnought and looking for these. As well with the episodic weapons, there are going to be new fragile mods. So they're called fragile because these will be expiring at the close of the episode.
Okay.
But they're going to give you pretty...
Wow! We're getting, what did he say? Fragile mods that are going to be expiring at the end of the episode? That's interesting.
insane bonuses to your outgoing power. So not necessarily the power of the weapon, but the actual like versatility of it.
Yeah.
One of these, I have the power of resolve. Rapid hits, they create taken seekers. They're really good against champs.
Yeah.
So that's an example. There are going to be a couple at launch and then more coming with each act.
Yeah.
But these will be great in Nightfalls. Will be great in higher content.
Champions.
GMs!
Yeah. And then for when you're going in and earning these weapons, there was a ton of feedback, and we absolutely heard you. We're listening about the tonic system. So there are things with like the user experience was a bit rough of having to go back in, create more tonics, trigger them in the middle of activities because they were running out.
Yeah.
The team really took that to heart. They want to make sure that there's agency in how you're earning these weapons. So they're going to be making it through the Tome of Want. You can kind of target these weapons. You don't need to go in and do this a ton of times. You can say, hey, I want to go for this auto rifle. I want to go for this grenade launcher, linear fusion rifle, and I really want to be going for that to try to get these heretical versions.
Yeah.
So effectively, like, I don't want to say more loot because it's not going to be like, oh, hey, you're getting 10 times more.
Yeah.
But it's going to feel like, oh, hey, I have a goal of getting this loot, and now I'm going to go and play the game and get what I'm looking for.
Definitely. No, it's super exciting.
That's good.
Honestly.
That's
just
good.
having those more opportunities to just break your loadouts out a little bit, find new ways to go ahead and really excel, especially given the challenges we're going to be going up against on the Dreadnought.
And with the fragile mods, like it's baking into that exploration. Like you were saying, how do you find them again?
Yeah, so they can be found through secrets and chests found in the Nether. They're spread out. They're hidden pretty well, but I imagine folks will find them over time or through some YouTube videos. But
Rick Cack is here.
We're going to wait for. We won't miss it this time. Fallout, obviously. If you could make some guides for us, we'd greatly appreciate it. So.
Iswerg.
Iswerg, obviously, yes.
Yeah.
One of the best communities out there.
Let's see. Anything else? Yeah, I mean.
Huh? Wait, what did he just say? Bro, wait, what did he just say? Oh my gosh, hold on. Wait, what? Hold on. Hold on. Oh my gosh, wait, I'm blushing.
See how you're earning these weapons. So they're going to be making it through the Tome of Want. You can kind of target these weapons. You don't need to go in and do this a ton of times. You can say, hey, I want to go for this auto rifle. I want to go for this grenade launcher, linear fusion rifle, and I really want to be going for that to try to get these heretical versions.
Yeah.
So effectively, like, I don't want to say more loot because it's not going to be like, oh, hey, you're getting 10 times more.
Yeah.
But it's going to feel like, oh, hey, I have a goal of getting this loot, and now I'm going to go and play the game and get what I'm looking for.
Definitely. No, it's super exciting, honestly. Just having those more opportunities to just break your loadouts out a little bit, find new ways to go ahead and really excel, especially given the challenges we're going to be going up against on the Dreadnought.
And with the fragile mods, like it's baking into that exploration. Like you were saying, how do you find them again?
yeah, so they can be found through secrets and chests found in the Nether. They're spread out. They're hidden pretty well, but I imagine folks will find them over time or through some YouTube videos. But
Rick Cack is here.
We're going to wait for. We won't miss it this time. Fallout, obviously. If you could make some guides for us, we'd greatly appreciate it. So.
Iswerg.
Iswerg, obviously, yes.
Yeah.
One of the best communities out there.
Let's see. Anything.
Oh my gosh! Wait, that's so cool. I'll definitely have some guides. Oh my gosh, I enjoy making the guide videos. They're so fun. I enjoy helping the Destiny community where I can. I do a bunch of raffles already on my Twitch streams where we do like GMs or difficult activities. We're definitely going to be doing raffles for this. It sounds pretty difficult. Sounds like we're going to get some really interesting and cool looking loot out of it. That's also going to be good. So yeah, it's the least I can do. I already do raffles on there, so the least I can do is also do a bunch of guides because it has been helping out so many people. Did you guys hear that? Best communities out there. Oh my gosh, I'm blushing so hard. Thank you so much. I'm not trying to be biased, but you guys are the best community out there. Let's go. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of our community. You guys really are the best. This makes me so happy. Oh my goodness. Much love to them. Wait, that's so cool. I'm actually blushing. Oh, I don't even know what to say.
Anything else? Yeah, I mean, the last keyword I want
What?
to throw on there is aspirational. Ultimately, we want to have tools that players want to go and find, want to earn, and
I don't even know what
increase their power.
I don't even know what to
So we've got a
say.
couple more weapons I definitely want to talk about because we're reprising some as well. But we have a brief
got some
reprieve
more.
from combat. I'd love to actually go ahead. I know you mentioned earlier aspects, Eric.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and take a look really quickly. We got our friendly neighborhood warlock here up first. Can you tell us about the new aspects the Guardians are going to have this time around?
Absolutely. So the warlock has a new aspect called Ionic Sentry.
Ionic Sentry. I don't know if he's going to be reading all of this, but I'm going to read it for us. Defeat targets with kinetic or arc weapons or arc abilities to charge up an arc turret that periodically chains lightning between nearby targets, gaining a stack of bolt charge with each hit. I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on. I'm struggling. Alright, press Q. Deploy the Ionic Sentry, binding nearby targets on initial impact. Alright, wait, what? Bolt charge. Wait, what? You can have a sentry blinding nearby targets on initial. Wait, that's actually sick. You can blind them. Accumulate stacks of arc bolt charges. Bolt charge. While you have bolt charge, sustained weapon damage generates stacks of bolt charge. At maximum stacks, any ability damage generates a powerful bolt of arc lightning at the target's location. Receiving a stack of bolt charge grants you melee energy. Blind combatants are disoriented and cannot fire their weapons, choosing... Wait, sorry. Opposing Guardians' HUD is removed and their vision is obscured. I actually... Did I know that? That my HUD... No, I didn't know that. That my HUD disappears for blind, yeah. When blinded, unstoppable champions are stunned. Heck yes.
And Ionic Sentry, when you defeat targets with kinetic or arc weapons or arc abilities, you kind of charge this thing that you see in low gauge on your screen, much like Gunpowder Gamble, if you're familiar with that.
Absolutely.
When that's full, it grants you a bonus grenade that you can then throw out. On impact, it blinds anything nearby and then spawns this like little arc turret, right? That zaps things, chains to different things. And every time it zaps something, it accumulates a stack of bolt charge. So bolt charge is our new arc keyword. And what this does is when you have a stack of bolt charge, any damage you do, it's going to give you additional stacks. Once you hit 10 stacks, your next ability damage is going to create this giant lightning bolt that comes out of nowhere, hits the ground, and just like fries everything nearby, right? What Ionic...
Dude, that sounds so sick and awesome. What?
Sentry can do is not only generate the stacks, but because it is ability damage in itself, it can expend the stacks. So you send this thing out and it is doing work.
You're throwing a meat grinder at them.
Dude, it sounds powerful as heck. So not only can it give you stacks, it can also extend like its own duration, depending on, I'm assuming depending on how many enemies are there. That is awesome. Like the more stuff that keeps coming out for warlocks, the more I'm really jealous that I'm not a warlock main.
Basically, an arc-flavored meat grinder. Had anyone foolish enough to cross it. But also, I mean, given that's going to be using the new keyword as well, like it's not just going to be for mobs of trash. It's like you can throw this down against the big bosses and obviously have it blind them and do all sorts of stuff.
This is great against bosses because any healthy targets, it's going to be continually zapping them, granting you those stacks, and then discharging the stacks as well.
All right.
It's like an offensive version of the Stasis Warlock turret too. So it's like, let's say you stack them and you're going into onslaught, so you have your freeze. It's like, I need these enemies to leave me alone. And you come in and you're like, it's time to, we're gonna boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew, man. They're gone.
Sure, but it also, if you are in trouble, kind of like the Stasis thing, like let's hit the pause button. The blinding aspect of this, I can just kind of throw it out and smoke bomb and hide, right? If I need to.
All right, so warlocks obviously have a brand new tool to add to their toolbox, but the other classes do as well. Which one should we show them next?
Let's stick with the arc thing. So let's go to Titan. So Titan. Storm's Keep.
Storm's Keep. cast your class ability to grant a moderate amount of bolt charge stacks to you and nearby allies. That could work really well with like either multiple titans or a titan warlock. While behind your barricade, you and allies gain stacks of bolt charge over time, and your weapons can discharge max stacks of bolt charge.
In this is like a barricade modification.
Massive.
So
You could really put like
you-
some really cool combinations between multiple characters with literally these new aspects.
In this is like a barricade modification. So any barricade you drop, it's going to kind of be electrified. And standing behind this electrified is going to passively accumulate bolt charge on you.
Yeah.
So I drop this on the ground. I start shooting enemies from behind my barricade. Let's say it's a rally barricade,
Yeah.
or like we just reworked Titan's ramparts, you know, the barricade you can shoot through.
Oh, yeah.
And that is going to be kind of building those stacks up and discharging them as I'm firing my weapon.
Okay.
Like I said, bolt charge is usually only ability damage that discharges it.
Yeah.
But as long as I'm standing behind Storm's Keep, my weapon damage is going to discharge it as well.
Got it.
So it kind of turns any weapon you want into like a quasi Thunderlord.
Not
if
necessarily an arc weapon then in this case.
Correct,
It's
yeah.
Exciting. Okay.
Yeah. So this one's spicy. I think we're going to see this in a lot of damage phases, and you know we can play this all we want.
There's a lot of theoreticals we can dive into, right? Yeah, totally.
In dev, and then we drop it into the world, and you know we'll see how we need to tune this thing. Maybe it's up, maybe it's down. But we want it to be powerful, and I think it is powerful.
There's a lot of like players saw this preview in the TWID. I think it was last week, and they immediately noticed the animation for the Titan was changed, right? So when you went down to put down the barricade, it was like this big thunderclap, like, hey, I'm gonna charge everybody up, right?
Yeah, and that animation went through a lot of different kind of versions. You know, we put so much love into all of these abilities because you know it's in the game forever, and we want it to be right. So. You know, there were like slams and like raises, and you know, we ended up with a thunderclap, and our animators are godlike. They're absolutely incredible at their jobs.
Yeah.
So, but then it's animation. It's like the VFX artists have to time everything to the animation, and then the sound design people have to time it to that, and then the test has to make sure we're not breaking anything. And it's like so much work goes into even one aspect like this, and we're really excited to put it in players' hands.
Yeah, it's a coalescence of art and science that you guys do that consistently blows my mind. But now we've got obviously one more for our friendly neighborhood hunters like myself.
Yeah.
As well.
Best for last.
This one will be able to get out of sticky situations as
On the prowl. Entering invisibility marks nearby combatants as a priority target for you and your team. Defeating priority targets creates a weakening cloud of smoke that makes you and allies invisible when passing through it. You know I'm all about the invisibility. When priority targets are defeated, you and nearby allies gain increased weapons reload speed and stability for a short duration, and are granted grenade, melee, and class ability energy. Dude, if that doesn't sound awesome, I don't know what does. This is so awesome. I just said awesome like 3 different times. I'm excited for this one. I love my invisibility, and I love making people invis, and the fact that you can make them invis in that way sounds really awesome and cool. I need to figure out which aspect I'm going to replace for this one, but I'm so excited to try this.
as well. So yeah.
So Arcstrider already has for arc aspects, but they needed one in their void slot. So we gave Night Stalker on the prowl. And shout out to the boy Danny Nanny, who is the designer for this one.
Yeah.
So on the prowl, you kind of become a hit person, right?
Yeah.
And whenever you go invisible, like you get a contract to kill something in the area.
Yeah.
And that thing is marked, and a little, a target shows up on them for you and your allies. If you successfully complete that contract and whack that jabroni, right? You.
Sorry, jabroni.
No, excellent use of jabroni. Yeah.
Thank you. So
That's canon now, everyone.
So I whack a jabroni, whack a jabron, and then what happens is my entire team gets some energy, right? And this is kind of a callback to Heart of the Pack from the old Night Stalker. It originally was actually a callback where we gave you stats, but then because we're reworking the stats coming up, like we decided to just give you ability energy, right? Yeah. So ability energy, and then the victim, if successfully executed, explodes into a cloud of smoke, which I can then enter to become invisible again, thereby marking a new target. So I can kind of chain these like assassinations as I move throughout a strike or something.
I didn't even think about that. To be able to chain it like that sounds so good.
Entire team
Oh my gosh.
can be advantaged by.
Oh, nice. So you can bring your fire team through the same cloud of smoke.
Same cloud of smoke.
I wonder
Everyone
if that's
goes
going to work in
invisible.
Grandmasters.
So yeah, you're kind
all
of sneaking.
spicy, man. Jeez.
It's on the prowl. We're
'Cause they have a lot
prowling
more
through
health,
activity.
so.
You can already see like one of the exotic pairings on the screen too. Those creepy eyes freak me out every time. But on the Oculus,
Me
like
too.
that's going to benefit the smoke and all that kind of stuff. You could pair
Yeah.
with Lawrence Driver. Sorry, Ritz on social media asking for some gameplay today, but we have too much to go through.
Yeah.
But it's like you're embodying that I'm a bounty hunter fantasy. So your gun can be giving you bounties through Lawrence Driver. You're getting bounties through this. There's going to be a lot of combinations in build crafting.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned too, Guizen, right?
Yeah, Guizen. I always call it Guizen,
Yeah.
but Guizen Vest got a rework. So when you exit invisibility, it emits a weakening cloud of smoke, and then some super energy perks as well. So
Nice.
there's going to be a lot of strong pairings, and then with the artifact, Void features in the artifact pretty heavily too.
You know what? Honestly, you just gave me the best segue I could possibly imagine. We have looked, obviously, we've begun to scratch the surface of some of the new build crafting opportunities y'all are going to have. But obviously, we got a new artifact as well this episode. We've got the Tablet of Ruin, which seemed aptly named. Now, just as a starting point, can you let us know the general theme of this one?
Yeah, so the theme of this episode's artifact is kind of subjugation and bending enemies to your will.
Yeah.
Essentially, as we are going back into the Dreadnought, it was unlikely that the Dread or the Hive were going to come peacefully, so we got to bring the big guns to force their hand.
Absolutely.
Essentially.
Yeah, it's not about us winning, it's about them losing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Tower of Ruin is there to ruin their day, essentially. Yeah, so I'll call out some highlights of mine from here. If we look at column 5, because column 5,
Column 5's a strong one.
that's where
yeah, we got to go right to
yeah.
the chase.
We have Void. Which one is it? It's called Void Flux. That's it. Void Flux. So defeating weakened targets with a Void weapon applies volatile to nearby targets, and then you pair that with the column 4 Maligned Harvest.
I thought he was going to say repair that with the new aspect. I was like, heck yeah.
And rapidly applying volatile causes your next instance of Void weapon damage to weaken, which then feeds back into the other one. And it's like,
Wait, that's so awesome. The fact that they kept the boost version into the artifact, I actually really do like that. For liminality, I actually use 2 mods with a what is it called? A potion, and it just works so well together. So just going through these and trying to figure out what works together is definitely really awesome.
if you can get this engine going, in a crowded
And this one says, apply weaken provides a small void overshield. That's massive.
room, it's nasty.
Me and my fellow Fighting Lion addicts are going to have a really good time with this one, I can already tell. The Fighting Lion subreddit, I want to see some clips. That's
And
all I'm
then I also want to call out Horde Shuttle in
Yeah,
here.
please.
So Horde Shuttle, damaging unraveled targets with a weapon, occasionally spawns a Threadling. This is really good for your...
Boost threadling sever at targets that they damage. Boost threadling sever targets that they damage.
Strand builds, especially against high health targets. Because I unravel them, they stay unraveled. I keep shooting them, they're just popping Threadlings out, left and right.
Nice.
And then, because we talked about arc, flashover in column 4, when you gain a maximum stat or bolt charge, you also become amplified. Amplified is getting a big kind of buff this episode as well. to its survivability. So
Yeah.
really, Arc in general is it's hot.
It's
gonna be hot.
feasting,
this
yeah.
season.
It's gonna be some spicy Arc builds this time around. I
Rock 'em,
can't wait.
shock 'em, baby.
Yeah, there you
Go.
go. Yeah, that's end too. Dylan, can you walk us through some of the stuff in the first column as well? We're gonna have
Oh, yeah.
some new champion rather mods to take out.
Yeah, so I mean, like, there's all these really ability-focused items, which is great because there are a bunch of anti-champion keywords in there as well.
Yeah.
But let's say, like, hey, we're going in, we're doing a Nightfall. You can see actually there's anti-barrier sidearm for the first time in years. Like,
Yeah.
I think that was around for one of the first Grandmaster rotations, and it was
Yeah.
like, what sidearm?
Right.
Rocket sidearms. We can use rocket sidearms. I actually loved using rocket sidearms against unstops because they stunned unstops a season ago or two. They were awesome.
Dust
Now
off
we-
the call. Let's
Now we
do
have
it.
rocket sidearms, we have Forerunner, so you can be
Yeah.
like popping the shields, throwing the grenades, that kind
Totally.
of stuff. Anti-barrier sniper, that was a favorite from the past. We just
Anti-barrier sniper. I have mixed feelings. I just suck at using snipers in PvE. So I don't know. Good thing Wish Under has barrier. No, I legit, I don't know what it is. I suck at using sniper rifles in PvE, but I'd say I'm pretty decent in PvP. But that's cool, because sniper rifles haven't been one of the champions in a while.
did a big rework on glaives. The team did a crack job on there. So unstoppable.
Dude, there's unstoppable glaives! It's been so long since we'd had glaives to go against unstops. I'm so excited because they were so fun when that was a thing. That's epic.
There.
Nice.
And then up at the top, you can see machine guns, and then linear fusion rifles and fusion rifles are getting the
Nice.
unstoppable.
Yeah, I always use machine guns in my GMs. So that's like a free slot for overload. And then you have fusions and linear fusions, because linear fusions, I believe, are getting a buff next season. I don't think it's a lot. I think it's like 10% if I remember correctly. But that's still something. So to see that, that's really cool.
And then in fifth column, you'll see a perk that players may enjoy of
it's
particle
back.
It's back.
reconstruction.
I'm so excited.
Particle reconstruction is back. Dealing sustained damage with fusion rifles or linear fusion rifles partially refills the magazine from reserves and grants them bonus damage for a short duration against that target. Wow, it's been a while.
I mean, I just got my hands on the Vex Mythic Last finally. Thank you, Malachi. After all this time, honestly. So I have a hunch I'm going to be putting those in the main rotation pretty quickly as
Do you
well.
have Vex yet?
Oh yeah.
Okay, don't rub it. I didn't
What about you?
I don't know if I have a Vex.
I didn't
to
even
be
get it in
honest.
D1, so it was like such a moment for me. It was like a decade of
Well,
waiting, right? Yeah.
I think there's a reason to go back into Vault of Glass. I mean, we can help him get his.
I'm down. I
That's a
played.
good point.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like some raids I've played 5 times and have like 5 of the raid exotic, right? And others.
Oh,
I've played
you're the guy where
20
you get it
times.
on the first run.
I
mean, that's
usually
like,
am, but not with Vault for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah,
But-
Matt Noguchi out there, you. Oh,
Feast or famine, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So go back to Vault, you were saying.
Vault of Glass. So there are a bunch of folks where, yeah, they want crafting back. They want to do something where they have an end goal. And Vault of Glass is a great opportunity for us to say, hey, you've been going through Heresy content. You want to do some raids. You want to do something else. Like, yeah, we're adding weapons to Strikes, Gambit, Crucible. We have a bunch of new weapons in Trials, a new armor set in Trials that you've seen in some.
Deep set activation. Wait, we're getting red frames in Vault of Glass?
These previews.
Yeah.
But Vault of Glass is getting crafting.
Yes.
Chat goes wild.
Yeah.
You can go get that Fatebringer,
Woo!
get it a couple times as a deep sight, craft it, and then you can make that roll that you've always wanted.
Yep. Yeah.
As you're going
Heck
through
yeah!
Vault, let's say
You know what? We're gonna be doing a lot of raffles for Vault of Glass. Let's go.
you want to go through and craft like 5
It's been a while
weapons
since I've
that
done
are
that one.
available, then you can hop into Master with all your spoils. Be going for those Adept versions, and those have a chance to drop with multiple or more perks in those columns. We've been doing this for the last few raids with craftable weapons,
Yeah.
but now it's like, hey, I want my Heathen Vengeance. There's a new intrinsic perk. What's the origin trait?
Yes. Yeah.
And then, yeah, let's
Wait, what did he say? a new intrinsic perk. Final blows with this weapon grant bonus super energy. When your super expires, this weapon's magazine size is doubled for a long duration and reloads from reserves.
Say I'm trying to go for a combination. I could get 3 on this, and then I can enhance it, make it this crazy rocket launcher that's good, and go into endgame and do some really cool stuff.
Yep.
Wow.
So we've got another weapons. I know I mentioned some reprised ones, but actually, as long as we're hanging out here in the menus, Eric, I'd actually love to put you on the spot again and talk about just some of the exotics that players are going to be able to go ahead and acquire this episode as well. Let's start wherever you'd like to. Which one would you like to kick it off with?
Let's look at Barrow Dyad.
Barrow Dyad. I was hoping you'd say that.
So Barrow Dyad is
Is that a gun?
Is that a gun? Is that a gun? Wait, what is that?
It's
What is this? Wait, that's so funny. Wait, what is that? It's a submachine gun. Panic response. This weapon generates blight as it deals damage. While not firing, blight depletes and the magazine is gradually refilled. Reload the weapon to convert stored blight into blighted seekers. What? That is the most epic looking SMG I've ever seen.
Kick it off with.
Let's look
What?
at Barrow Dyad.
The
Barrow Dyad,
frick?
I was hoping you'd say that.
So Barrow
That's so
Dyad
cool.
is
Look at
a
Is that a gun?
Is that a gun?
Is that actually a gun?
it's hybrid gun for
Our
sort of
art team does not mess around, man. That's so cool. Yeah.
so this
Taken Divergence. Hitting 3 different targets generates a large amount of blight. Blighted seekers bore through targets. Wow.
thing is a strand submachine gun, and it is also a monster in combat. So this thing, as I deal damage with it, it generates this resource called Blight. And next time I reload, whether it's manual or I just run out of my mag, it's going to convert that Blight into these strand
Look at
seekers.
it.
That next time I, pull the trigger, it's going to fire those out, and they're going to bounce between enemies.
That's so cool.
Here we go. Yep. So we got some gameplay of this right now, actually.
Yes. So, but you can also see it.
Just jumping everything.
The Grim is a paid actor, obviously.
You can also see that this thing auto reloads over time. So this thing, rumor is it's partially sentient.
Yeah.
It has its own wants and
It
needs.
wants to kill.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you satisfy it, it's going to reward you.
Yeah.
So look how fast that ammo comes back. So what you can actually do is play this
Wow,
mini game
yeah.
where you are trying to shoot enemies to build up that blight, and then you can pace yourself to auto reload to build up more blight, and then
Oh, right here. That's, I think, building up the blight.
manually reload to load all those seekers into your mag. In addition, it has this perk where dealing damage to 3 different enemies generates, in a short period of time, generates a large amount of blight.
Very nice.
So-
Okay. So equal
That's
opportunities to
cool.
go ahead and clear out crowds, but also to just burn down the big bad that might be standing in front of you, or whichever one's foolish enough to do so.
Yeah.
So there are going to be player questions immediately of when you're talking about blight and those sorts of keywords, is this a weapon of sorrow?
That's a great question. It is not a weapon of sorrow, but I heard another rumor that this thing is a kind of fossilized precursor to a weapon of sorrow.
Interesting.
But I can't, confirm.
Redacted.
This, one of our top 3 favorite words, redacted. Okay, so this is the one, and we won't spoil how, but players will be earning this one this season. It'll have, catalysts and other intrinsics to earn as well, I assume.
This thing has a lot of surprises. I don't know where.
We can leave it there.
Let's just leave it.
I like that. Okay. All right. So obviously, the Barrow Dyad will be one that will be getting added to a lot of loadouts across the entire Soul system. But that's not the only one we're going to be taking a look at today.
Why is he so tanky?
Yeah, let's also look at our new exotic trace rifle Lodestar. So this one will be given to players via the season pass. This is the first primary ammo trace rifle.
Wait, did they say how to get the SMG? I don't think they mentioned how we get the SMG. I wonder if it's not raid related, sorry, dungeon related. But he said this one comes from the season pass. Or maybe I just didn't hear him. Starlight Beam. This weapon fires a low intensity arc beam with enhanced stability and accuracy.
Ever.
So cool.
And
I'm so excited.
So in
Arc
hipfire, this thing
alignment.
behaves.
Dealing arc damage from any source aligns the battery's coils. When alignment is complete, press R to disengage the safety and enable hip-fire starlight beam to apply jolt to any targets damaged for a short time. Aim down sights to slow the rate at which the battery drains.
Behaves like the trace rifle you know and love, but when you ADS with it, it's closer to a pulse rifle actually.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
When you ADS, your standard pulse rifle has this kind of cadence where it's prap, prap, prap. There's like these kind of spaces in between the rounds coming out. But this thing is more the steady, EDM beat.
Here we go. Yeah, so players are seeing it now. Yeah.
Yeah, we're womp, 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 womp.
Yep, that's right, yeah.
And it's like it's nonstop
That's
until you run
cool.
out of ammo, right?
So we got
Yeah.
burst sidearms, burst hand cannons, your pulse rifles, and now we got a burst trace rifle. I love this kind of stuff, man.
Yeah, so
That's
outside of
epic.
this unique firing
I like
behavior, as I deal damage with it, you can see down in the bottom left corner we have arc alignment, and what that's doing is charging the coils of the weapon. Once it's fully charged, if I press and hold to auto reload, or sorry, special reload.
Oh, right.
As I hip fire, I jolt anything I hit.
Yeah.
So the jolt is a debuff, right? So you can kind of charge this thing up, auto reload to go into the other fire mode, and then kind of sweep the beam across a bunch of enemies,
Yeah.
jolt them all, and then
Paintbrush of death, this thing. Yeah.
and then the final perk this thing has is when ADS'd, any time you defeat a arc debuffed enemy, they explode into a blinding explosion. So it's this loop where I can charge it up, I jolt enemies,
Yeah.
I defeat the jolted enemies
Doggo.
with the ADS
That's the infamous
shot,
thing.
which explodes and damages more enemies, which
Yeah.
charges it up. And
Yeah.
it's
The
this-
loop continues,
Yeah,
honestly, yeah.
This thing has, I think, a really high skill ceiling.
And this is just this one weapons loop. There's obviously all the different artifact mods. There's all the new aspects. There's the new gear we're going to have available to us through the Dreadnought. Theory crafters, update your spreadsheets. The time has begun.
There's some big brain combos you can pull off.
Yeah, and I will be counting on stealing all of them. All right, so we also, really quickly before we move on, we have some new armor as well with Trials. Dylan, can you brief?
Ooh, Trials armor. Okay, so they mentioned 2 exotic weapons, which means the SMG has to be the dungeon one?
Briefly tell us a little bit as well about the new updates to Trials and the new armor?
For sure, yeah. So I mean, we'll still have Heresy gameplay on here, but as I was saying, like once you're kind of like, oh hey, I've been playing that for a bit, I want to go play my core rituals like Nightfalls, Crucible, that kind of stuff. If I want the endgame PvP experience, Trials is getting kind of a rework. It's mostly focused around the Lighthouse experience. So the main goal, big shout out to Mercules on the team that's been working on this for a while, and then Test and everybody too. But what is a Trials experience when it's not flawless or bust?
Right.
What is something where, as a lesser skilled player, somebody that just wants to go in and play some like elimination, get in, get some rewards, and then also visit the Lighthouse and see our friend Saint? So ultimately, it's framed more around streaks. So you don't need that flawless 7 games in a row ticket to go up to the Lighthouse. Now it's more, oh, hey, I won 2 games in a row, lost a couple.
Wait, is that the armor?
But ultimately got 7 over time. Now I can go to the Lighthouse, open that chest, and then get some cool rewards.
Yeah.
So we had a big, an emphasis on big article go out about Crucible. There's some comp changes, there's a bunch of matchmaking stuff, but also Trials is our main game, or main focus for that. And you can see the armor that you get on there. You'll be getting these pieces like once a week or a couple times a week through challenges or opening the chest.
Nice.
But we're going to that kind of Osirian, that Egyptian theme again, and
I
the
like
stick shader's
it.
great. It's one of those pieces where, okay, I'm gonna be spending a couple weeks in here to fizzle. Oh my gosh, don't carry me, teach me.
Yeah.
But even
Just
if
don't
you're-
go up against me while you're out there. If you could do me a solid, that'd be great.
even if you're not high skill, it's like you can earn these armor pieces. The cool cosmetic bit is like, oh hey, as a high skill player, I still want that representation of what Flawless used to encapsulate. So if you hit a 5, a 6, a 7 win streak and go open that chest, you're unlocking different glows. You're getting different cosmetics like ships, ghosts, the sparrow.
Or a farming time.
Right?
That's right.
And then afterwards, how long of a streak can you go on? We're going to have a new emblem tracker where it's like, oh man, I went on a 25 win streak in Trials. I'm kind of
Nice.
hot right now.
Yeah.
And then
Said
you have-
Andy never.
Yeah, Andy saying, "Hey Dylan, you want to play Discord?" And I'm like, "Sorry, I'm a bit too busy."
It's all right. We get it. You're a big deal. But
I'm too high of a
thank
wind
you,
streak.
honestly, in the interest of being busy. Thank you and yours, obviously, putting together that article. If anyone wants to see all of that in painstaking detail, it took a village. So Dylan, to you and the PvP Strike team and everyone, thank you a ton for getting all that information together. I know we have one more topic to move on to, but I'm realizing in my notes I didn't quite get to speak to the reprised weapons. Let's call out a couple before we move on. There's one in particular I'm actually pretty excited about. It's the return of probably one of my favorite pulse rifles. I've been watching a lot of TikTok. Our friend Epic Defender out there is running Fighting Lion and, Cold Denial. So I've gone ahead and personally dusted off my Cold Denial, which is now also making a return. So if you don't still have it from Season of Arrivals, now's your chance. Dylan, we were talking
That's
about this a
cool.
little bit earlier. What's your favorite role for this one?
Well, so back in the day, I always made sure to have
I
Head
like
Seeker, and
that.
it was kind of a niche perk back then. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, hey,
Mm-hmm.
it helps with one-on-ones a bit.
Right.
But it has been buffed over time. It's been a while since Season of Arrivals, so
Yeah.
I'm going to be going for Head Seeker again on this baby,
Yeah.
and like,
That's cool. Cold Denial is, I like that. That's a cool one to come back. Nice.
one of the cool things is that all of the reprisals are going to be dropping day one of Act 1.
Cool.
So you can go and get this. There were a few others that were mentioned, or I believe you're about to mention.
Another one. Yes, that's right. We can honestly, I can talk about. Or wait, my favorite role or the next weapon?
I don't care about your favorite role.
Okay.
No,
fair
no,
enough.
no,
You know
go,
what?
go,
no,
go.
no, no. That's fine. You know what? Messenger Seed, I'll
Dang.
leave that for my
What is your
inventory
favorite
alone.
role? Because we debated this.
Well, there's.
Come on.
All right. It's very close. It's Zen Moment Head Seeker. But
Okay. No, that's good.
It's
That's
just a two-burst machine. But another one I want to call out, one that's so well beloved by the community that a member or a content creator in our community named themselves after it. Whispering Slab Enjoyer. Whispering Slab is now also getting reprised as well. So there's going to be.
Whispering Slab making a return. No way. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I like that. Wasn't there... I like that. Yeah. Wasn't there a time where this weapon just dropped non-stop from like everything? I can't remember if it was Whispering Slab or if it was a different weapon, but that's cool.
Be a lot of opportunities for y'all to go ahead and add this one back into your inventory. Is there going to be any new roles added to this
Nice.
one as well, Dylan? Anything
Oh,
exciting?
yeah. I mean, all of the weapon rolls, they're going to be a bit revamped. There will be some heavy hitters from the past, but also new perks have been introduced over time.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, for the seasonal weapons, too, I believe it was, Morgan Dickens, like working with her to see what are all the different roles, what can we call it on the stream.
Yeah.
She put a lot of love into those. Big shout out to the rest of the team as well. Like, I wish I could name every single person, but
Yeah.
as you said, it takes a village, it takes a city to build a game.
Absolutely.
So big love for everybody
Yeah,
there.
we're just the ones sitting up here today. There's obviously a ton of incredible peers of ours here at Bungie that are behind the scenes building all of this every single day. So to our teammates and compatriots at Bungie, we couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much.
Are there any weapons you're
Huge
looking for?
clap.
Ooh, yeah, let's really quickly check.
Oh, I'm looking forward to all the new Dreadnought weapons.
Yeah.
They look so gorgeous, especially the new support frame. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'll be rocking that through my run throughs of Nether. Just like watching our
Support
playtesters
frame.
like run through the final bubble there. They were struggling and they need some healing.
Yeah.
So I'll be rocking that, healing my teammates.
You're a better man than I am.
Yeah.
But we already knew that, obviously. Eric, any one last one that you want to call out
I
before we
mean,
move on?
that Whispering Slab is just so sexy, man.
Isn't it?
Like,
Honestly,
it's
what a
just like
distinctive bow. Like, how do you
it
not
is.
love it?
It's just like a big flat thing with a string. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
You know it means pain when you see it, honestly.
true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you shoot arrows from it, or do you just take it and hit people with it?
Dealer's choice. Obviously. Depends whether or not you're a Titan. All right, so we obviously have talked through a lot of stuff today, but there is plenty more for you to go ahead and dive into when Heresy launches next week on February 4th. But before we go ahead and obviously conclude the show, we've got a couple more announcements to talk through, including our next dungeon race. Dylan, this is something you and your compatriots on the community team have told us all about in past blogs and stuff, but a quick recap for anyone
can't
out
wait
there.
to
Can you tell us
race.
a little bit about the Sunder Doctrine race?
Yeah, so Sunder Doctrine, that's going to be launching on February 7th at Reset.
Okay.
We're going to do the contest mode as well. Some people call it a race to the top.
Yeah.
So with our last dungeon, we had a podium finish where it was the first 3 fire teams are winners for second, third. This time we're going back to that format of a singular fire team will be crowned. They will be that first to cross the finish line.
Oh, okay. So they're making it actually like raid specific, raid related. So instead of having top 3 winners, they're going back to top 1.
The really cool thing about this as well is we're kind of mixing up what is the stake, what is the reward.
Yeah.
last dungeon we did a really cool hoodie with some personalization. This time around we're doing a trophy. It's going to be a nice little trophy. It's not a kit or not as big as say the raid title belts that you get, but it's going to be something that's very special, customized, like unique to this experience.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Joe, to the Raid and Dungeon team, and then also. Let's see here. Sorry, Henshin Scrap. We're going to be partnering with them to create this trophy, and we'll have a picture of it in a TWID next week, or maybe even later this week.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's going to be something that represents this dungeon, and it's going to be pretty fun.
That's super exciting.
So,
and also, our friends on the Good Super Products team have been hard at work making sure that all of us that dive in, because I've never done a contest mode in my life, I'm not brave enough. There's.
Ooh, that looks sick. That's the dungeon one. Wait, it comes with a bracelet. The pin. That is awesome. I really like that. That's cool.
Some stuff to go ahead for the Guardians to go ahead and earn as well. Dylan, can you tell us a little bit about what we're seeing here too?
Sure. Yeah. So on the screen, this is going to be
so
earnable just
excited
by
for the
playing through.
dungeon.
We have a new. I love this note sheet, man. Work shirt. So
Work shirt.
It has a hood, but it's not the hoodies of old. This is going to be a new thing. A work shirt that you can earn. The wristband was a pretty big winner for players. They enjoyed earning that last go, so
definitely.
we have that again. And then we also have our Bungie rewards, the title pin. So go in, do all of the challenges, the triumphs, I believe solo as well, which I applaud everybody that does solo dungeons because it's just insane to me.
Yeah.
But you
It
can
is
earn
insane.
this pin to represent how hardcore you are.
Yeah.
And then we have just general pins and rewards that you can get as well.
Very cool.
So and
mortals
this is
like I can go ahead and get my hands on something as well, right?
True.
It's like,
And then these are outside of like contest mode. So contest mode, you get that unique emblem in game. With normal mode, there will be an emblem, there will be those rewards, weapons, etc.
Certainly.
But then some things out of game as well. So
Awesome.
to get into the contest mode, 1995 is the recommended power.
Okay.
Outside of that, it's like if contest isn't your thing, once that fire team finishes first, then we open up normal mode afterwards. So.
Cool. But either way, contests will be available for that first 48 hours.
First 48 hours
Cool.
too.
Awesome.
And then if you want to join in with the community and have a watching experience, we have the Dungeon Zone hosted by CB Gray and Evan F.
Couple of legends.
Yeah, big thank you to them because this is going to be a community-driven kind of like, hey, they're tracking a ton of teams that are vying for that first place.
Yeah.
They're going to be hopping through that. They'll have some pre-show stuff that's really fun to watch. We'll also have Twitch drops. We'll have unique emblems to earn through that.
I always get so jealous, man. I love racing for day ones, like dungeons, raids, and things like that. It is so fun to go in and race for it, and I will continue doing that. But I am kind of jealous for anyone that doesn't race and gets to watch. I enjoy, like, as much as I enjoy doing and being part of day one races, I also enjoy going around like the Twitch directory and just watching other streamers and watching them figure out mechanics and, figure out all these like problems and how to move on and complete the encounter. It is really cool that CB Gray and FNF are doing their like, I don't know what to call it, like their, what did they say? Like watch party? Like they make this whole thing where they watch everyone that is streaming and they get to watch and see like, oh, who's ahead? How are they doing right now? What's going on? And I am very jealous of anyone that gets to watch because I love watching stuff like that, but I also love racing. So a lot of times I always race and then afterwards, like, I don't know, like a week after or something, I go back and watch like streamers and videos and just, I enjoy seeing teams figure out mechanics. It's super cool.
So yeah, tons of folks to watch and then tons of gameplay to jump into on the 7th.
That rules. I can't wait. Excellent. Well, everyone as well, if they need to find this was in a previous TWID
Sorry.
as well.
Yeah, so we have a previous TWID. We're going to have another TWID just before the 7th to walk through this again. And then we also have like the terms and conditions for the dungeon race and all that. That's on help.bungie.net. So.
Excellent. Very cool. All right. Excited. Can't wait to tune in. CB Gray, Evan F. Can't wait to go ahead and see what you got in store for us. But now we have one more item to speak about. As has become tradition in these streams, we've got one more thing to go ahead and show you. Now it's time to take a first look at the newest collaboration that's going to be coming to Destiny 2. And this one is joining us from a galaxy far, far away. Chat, I'm going to keep an eye on you. I'm sure you're going to start going nuts soon, but that's right. Our next collaboration is inspired by a universe that's loved by so many of us here at the studio, Star Wars. Now, today, we're going to be taking a look at the...
What? Wait, what? They're adding in Star Wars? That's insane! Dude! What? Look at that! Dude, that's sick. What? Oh my gosh. No way. No way. Destiny is collabing with Star Wars. That's actually insane. What the actual frick? Sorry. What the actual frick? This is crazy. Dude, look at these outfits. Wow.
The new Star Wars
That's
inspired
sick.
armor sets that are going to be joining Destiny. And I say there's no time quite like the present. First up, we've got the Covert Ranger set for Hunters. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at that one. This one is inspired by none other than the elite Death Troopers. Oh my god, I can't wait.
Such a beautiful cape.
Seriously.
Hunters
That's
are never
so
going to need to use Super
cool.
Black again. Are you kidding me?
Don't tempt us, we'll find a way. Yes, this
Wow,
one,
that looks
and as are the other
clean.
ones that you're going to see, are obviously all going to be arriving on day one of Heresy. Up next, Warlocks. Worry not, we've got you covered as well. We've got the Royal Protector set for you guys, and this time it's inspired by the Imperial Royal Guards. If you've ever found yourself in a throne room in the Star Wars universe, you've probably been intimidated by these guys. That's your chance to go ahead and do the same intimidation
like
when you
the-
load into
I like
trials
the
or
look.
anything like that. This one is
So
obscenely
red.
cool. And then last, but very not least, we've got the Shock Enforcer set for Titans. This one's inspired by the classic Stormtroopers.
Yeah, and this
I'm
one
getting
actually,
that
I heard,
one.
comes with an intrinsic perk that tanks your accuracy.
That's so.
pretty cool.
It's all right. They're Titans. They're just gonna go ahead and punch you anyway. Honestly.
Okay, don't hate me, but I don't know much about Star Wars. I don't know much about them. I do know these stormtroopers. The Warlock one, I don't think I'm familiar with that one, and I'm not sure if I'm familiar with the ones that for the Hunter. I think so, but I definitely know this one. I'm sorry, don't hate me, but I know Star Wars, like their vibe, or like their theme, their color like scheme, like their look of it, and the fact that it looks so freaking good on characters on Destiny is actually insane. That's awesome. Love it. Love to see that. That is great. Oh my gosh.
We'll check on that intrinsic
That's
perk.
so
But yes,
cool.
this one, obviously, to the classic Stormtroopers out there, the fans of those, Titans, you are going to go ahead and be set and ready to go ahead and don this. Now, obviously, there's going to be some stuff that will transcend across all of the different.
Okay. All I'm saying is now we just need a Squid Games collaboration. I love Squid Games so much, and if they make freaking pink guards in here, dude, there's 3 pink guards. There's a triangle, a circle, and a square. There's a Titan, a Warlock, and a Hunter. Just saying. Just saying.
different classes, including a new ghost shell that we'd love to go ahead and show you as well.
Ooh.
We now have.
Sorry,
let's
I didn't
go ahead
realize
and
they were
take a look
showing more.
here. This is the DS2 Ghost Shell, as you can tell, operational, but it's inspired by none other than the return of the Jedi Death Star. So it's a.
Oh my gosh. No way. Isn't it when the Traveler was shooting that light beam? I think everyone was calling it like the Death Star because it shot like that light beam into like the pyramids that were on the way to the Traveler. And the fact that Bungie was like, you know what? That's what we're adding in as a ghost shell. It's so awesome. I love it. Technically wasn't exactly like a meme with the Traveler, but it was more of as like the community saw it in that way, and the fact that Bungie is like, you know what, the community saw it in that way, let's add that as a ghost. I think that's awesome. Well, actually, I don't even know if that was the case, but the fact that like this whole situation with the Traveler happened, and now they're adding in this ghost shell that also shoots the light beam is either really interesting and awesome coincidence, or they did that on purpose.
A bit of a work in progress, but who among us isn't?
So
That's
good, man.
cool.
I love the effect that comes out of the front.
I know, it never is, honestly. I remember the first time I saw it, like I quietly lost myself, honestly, in a meeting.
I wonder what it looks
on
like when you're
Teams.
holding it in your hand.
But yeah, this one has been super exciting. Now, there's also more as a part of this collaboration for you to explore. So worry not, there's also a sparrow, a ship, emotes, and a finisher, all for you to check out when Heresy launches.
Emote and a
But
finisher?
of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't take a chance, for starters, to give huge thanks to our friends here at Bungie that helped put this together. Kelly out on the marketing team, and then our friends over at Lucasfilm Games. It's been incredible to go ahead and work with you side by side to put this together. And of course, to make sure you're all in the know, and we give you a heads up of exactly where this is going to be, it will not be at Tashi Station with the power converters. These will be available on Eververse when Heresy launches on day one. So just want to make sure you're all aware of that. And also, I got to say, I, for one, am going to be keeping a close eye on the R Destiny Fashion subreddit, because I can't wait to see what they got for us after this.
They're going to have this. They're going to
That's
have new
sick.
Trials armor, new seasonal or episodic armor.
Yeah.
They're going to have tons of new Eververse options, but tons of new options you earn in the game. Put it all together, make something dope.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome, very exciting. Well,
Squid
I think
Games.
honestly we've had a huge docket of things to go ahead and go on through, but now we can all collectively exhale and leave a little bit more for the Guardians at home to discover when Heresy launches next week. But that concludes it for our show today. So first things first, obviously, Guardians, to all of you out there, even to the individual spamming
That
my
was so
face as an
good.
emote in chat, thank you all so much for joining us today. These shows are a ton of fun for us to get to put on. We love getting to share what we've been working on with all of you, but it doesn't matter unless you show up. So genuinely, thank you all for taking the time to join us today.
Thank
Obviously,
you
to our fire
guys
team
for
in the
showing
back
up
of the
as
house,
well.
to my compatriot in social media,
And making the
Mitch, to
stream.
Ashley, to Peyton. They're the ones really driving this stream. We just get to talk about what's on stream. So thank you for going ahead and lending us your talents. Obviously, to our friends here on the couch as well, Nico, who is somewhere around here. Obviously, Nico, thank you for joining us. Eric, Ryan, Dylan, thank you guys. We appreciate you taking the time to join us today.
Thank you.
To the crew here as well. Again, you have the challenge of dealing with me, so thank you all so much for your hard work. We seriously appreciate it. As a quick reminder to close things up, Heresy Act 1 launches just next week on February 4th, so go ahead, make sure you've got that day off. I don't, but I'll be cheering for all of you that do, so you can check out the Nether, all of the new gear and weapons that you're going to be able to have available to you. Start checking out how to get your hands on those exotics and building them all up. Our collaboration with Lucasfilm Games, Star Wars is pretty exciting, and of course the Sundered Doctrine Dungeon race will be there as well. But that's right, so now we're going to go ahead and get ready to close things out, but before we do, we're going to leave the stream live for just a little bit longer, so if you need to go ahead and wrap up that Twitch drop, you can do so, and go ahead and do us a favor and stick around, because once we finish up here, we're going to raid our good friend Macdix. So while I appreciate the bits and cheers and everything here in chat, save your Twitch Prime sub, save everything you can, go over to him, give him a follow, donate to the Game to Give stuff, pardon me, if you can, to help us do some good through the Bungie Foundation. But that's it. So for now, thank you all so much again for joining us. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you all Starside.
Let's go! That was so good! All of this looks insane, and I can't wait to start playing Heresy, which is going to be a whole nother week, but I still have so many things to do. The Nether looks crazy. I can't wait to play it. It looks difficult, it looks fun, it sounds like every match that you launch is going to be a bit different. The weapons look crazy good and sound crazy good. I can't wait to get I can't wait to get my hands on the next healing auto rifle, because I love being able to heal as well as kill enemies. So heal my teammates and kill enemies. These Star Wars collabs, like, I still can't wrap my head around it. The Star Wars collab looks so insanely awesome in this game. It looked good on every character. Oh my gosh. I think my favorite are the Stormtroopers. The fact that they used the Stormtrooper for the Titan, I think just fits so perfectly well. I'm so excited to get my hands on that. I can't wait to see the emote that they mentioned, the finisher. They also mentioned a sparrow and a ship, which they didn't show, but we got to see the ghost, which has the laser beam, and that's really cool. The exotics sound great, the trial stuff looks good, the legendary weapons looks good. There's just so much information that they were talking about in this live stream. I need to watch it again just to make sure that I don't forget anything, but I'm really looking forward to all of it that's supposed to come. The biggest shout out and thank yous to the Bungie team for coming up with everything everything that's supposed to come out. It definitely looks super fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. Also, shoutouts to everyone that was doing the live stream. I really do enjoy when Bungie does their live streams. I enjoy hanging out in their chat, talking and seeing everyone's reactions and seeing my community members in there. So that was really cool to see. So thank you to the entire Destiny 2 team. Thank you all so much for coming in here and watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Even if you've already seen the live stream or if you haven't, I appreciate you guys coming in here and watching it with me. I'm so excited for it. I've said that like 1,000 times, and I hope you guys are too with everything that's coming out. But yeah, I'll be doing a bunch of raffles over on my Twitch pretty much daily. We do a bunch of GMs, but whenever all this new stuff is coming out, we're definitely going to be focusing on that. If you would like to hang out and game over there with me as well as everyone else, thank you so much for coming in and watching. I appreciate it so much. So I will either see you guys in a future video or in another live stream. Thank you so much for coming in. Bye!